Hi there. Today we have a story called The Ugly Little Boy, written by the science fiction master Isaac Asimov, sometime in the middle of the last century. Edith Fellows, a qualified nurse, had responded to an ad in the paper seeking a nurse to look after a 3-year-old boy with special needs. She would have preferred to look after patients in a hospital, but the pay was good, so she went. Next day in the morning at 7:30 sharp, she reported to Dr. Gerald Hoskins, PhD, Director, Stasis Incorporated. Dr. Hoskins, a kindly man, asked her, Edith, do you love children? Yes, sir, I do. Do you love children who are only children who are cute? No, sir, I love all children. You'll have to test me out on that. He glanced at her biodata and said, well then, come along with me. They rose and walked along the corridor. They passed through several doors and came and stood in front of a door marked restricted entry. Dr. Hoskins pressed his entry card and the door swung open, revealing a sort of a gallery. On the other side of the balustrade, they could see a sort of a doll's house, a small apartment with no ceiling. It consisted of a living room, a kitchen, a washroom, a bedroom. Concise, compact. They went down, descended to the level of the apartment, entered through the locked front door. Next to the entrance was a cabinet. When Dr. Hoskins opened the door of the cabinet, a strong fetid smell greeted them. Also a smell of grass, wet grass and leaves. Edith could make out inside a living form. At first she thought it was a chimpanzee, but she could make out it was not a chimpanzee, it was a baby, it was a boy. Edith instinctively hunkered down on her haunches and cooed and softly spoke to the boy in a soothing voice, holding out her arms. At first the boy cowered, shrinking back into the corner, but gradually he responded, taking tentative steps forward. She asked for and was given warm milk in a feeding bottle. The boy grabbed the bottle from her hand and drank hungrily. She caught hold of the boy and with the help of an attendant took him to the washroom and gave him a thorough bath, put on a warm nightgown, put him on the bed and cuddled him to sleep. Edith Fellows joined Stasis Incorporated as the nurse. Dr. Gerald Hoskins explained to her, we have developed and perfected this Masonic time machine with which we can pluck out objects and living beings from thousands of years in the past and bring them to the present for our study. This boy we have got from 40,000 years back, from a small village which would now be somewhere in Germany. Next day, the press had a field day. They interviewed Dr. Hoskins. They interviewed Edith as well. Ape boy discovered by Stasis Incorporated from thousands of years in the past screamed the banner headlines, and research funds flowed in. Dr. Hoskins was very happy. So was Edith. Her motherhood of Timothy, that is what she named the little boy, began. She read to him. She played with him. She fed him. She taught him. And the boy learned how to read, how to speak, even how to write. Years passed. The boy kept asking Edith, when will I go out and play like the other children that he kept reading about? Edith had no answer. She broached the topic with Dr. Hoskins. Dr. Hoskins thought about it and said, you have a point there. It may be a good idea to expose him to a Homo sapiens and let us see how they interact across thousands of years of history. The next day, he called Edith to his office and he held forward a shy little boy of the same age as Timmy. This here is Jerry, my little boy. He was at a loose end in his summer vacations, so I thought it would be a good idea for him to say hi to Timmy. Edith was overjoyed. The two boys got along very well. They played together for about an hour and a half each day. Timmy kept asking Edith, when will I go to school like Jerry does? He goes to school, doesn't he? Again, Edith had no answer. But it had to happen, and it did. One day, when Edith was in the washroom and the two boys were playing in the living room, suddenly Edith heard a scuffle, and she heard Jerry wail. She came running. He bit me, he bit me, he kept on saying. And blood was flowing from his right hand. From what she could gather from Timmy, he kept whimpering and said, he called me a savage. He called me an ape boy. Soon the security people came. Dr. Hoskins came running. Next day, Dr. Hoskins called Edith to his office. And he said that, Miss Fellows, I think it's time that we let Timmy go back to his own time. We've had him for long enough. Oh, Dr. Hoskins, how can you do that? He's been here for 3 long years. We've fed him, we have protected him. We have looked after him. He would not be able to survive in the wild. His own people would have moved on from where you picked him up. And even if he does meet other Neanderthals, you think they would accept him? Please don't do that. I'll take care of him. Dr. Hoskins said, I think it's too late for that. Please come with me. They rose. They went through a maze of corridors down into the deep basement of the building and stood before a door over which was written, "The Masonic Time Machine Room. Entry strictly prohibited." Dr. Hoskins pressed his palm on a plate and the door gently swung open. Inside, Edith could make out the throb of a machine and a deep hum. In the middle of the room, she could make out a pedestal bathed with blue light from above, cordoned off by a thick nylon cord on stout bollards. On the pedestal stood a high-backed steel chair, and on the chair, strapped to it, was little Timmy, in deep sleep, no doubt due to strong drugs. At one end of the room, in front of the control panel, stood a technician in front of a large switch, waiting for a signal from Dr. Hoskins. At a signal from Dr. Hoskins, he threw the switch. Edith Fellows did not wait. She threw aside the nylon cord, rushed to the pedestal, climbed up on it, threw her body over Timmy's, and embraced him. There was a loud crackling noise. The lights dimmed. When they came on, the chair swiveled gently, empty. I hope you liked the story. Please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to my channel as you go. Please share the video with your friends. Thank you very much.